here you are, you're practicing what you learned throughout these years, right? Now, this is where you have to be very careful as an equine veterinarian, because remember, now you spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 years becoming this particular person, whether you are a general practitioner. What can you be? General practitioner, you could be repro, you could be internist, you could be a surgeon, you could be sport medicine. What else? You could be an ophthalmologist, a dentist, neurologist, podiatrist. One more. Then don't forget about this one, because many of you will be doing this. Sales rep for a pharmaceutical company.
Include academia in there also.
Thank you, academia. Great. Do any of these rings a bell? Have you experienced what I'm telling you about? Am I telling you something that is completely wild to you? All right. So this is why you have to work your personal, professional, and financial goals right now. Can they change? Yeah, of course they can change. But the more you work your goals right now and you put them in the physical universe in writing every day or twice a day, the more they're actually going to become a reality. Because if you don't plan, have you heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? And that is 100% true, 100% true. So now this is called, by the way, in case you had never heard it, this is called employee maturity model. So in business, this is called your employee maturity model. This is the employee maturity model of a veterinarian. You're a student, then you're an extern, then you're an intern, then you do a fellowship or you do a residency, and you can become a vet. Then after a vet, you become a senior clinician, where now you are an expert in any of these topics, and you might or might not be making a living, depending on what you chose to do. And then after that, you can become a director, or after that, finally, ultimately, you can become, ladies and gentlemen, an owner. An owner, an entrepreneur. You see your mindset? You were thinking you were about to retire. Let me ask you a question. How can you retire? How can you fathom retiring at this stage when you're probably gonna only be making about $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and you have $400,000 to $500,000 in salary, in student loans? How could you even think about retiring? This is the mindset that we had wrong when we started. This is how we became who we are as a profession. Because now we're thinking about retiring, but we're missing a huge opportunity. You know why? Because this opportunity, what is the gap? How many of you dare to think, what is the gap? Now we're talking about $500,000 to $1 million a year. Why would you retire if you're missing the real opportunity? But many of you don't reach this because you don't plan when you're here. Many of us, trust me, I spent 10 years here, wasting my life. Wasting my life for 10 years. Wasting my life, where if I should have planned better, I would have found a mentor, I would find somebody who could teach me how to do this. I would have been here 7 years ago, and life would have been way different. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that was me. Some people never find it. But what happened to me here? I was just playing. I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So what was my work-life balance here? Any of you dare to think? Who dare to think? What was my work-life balance? What did I do for work-life balance? What was my favorite thing to do? Not just clients. Those clients were also friends. And what were we doing in our free time? We were drinking like there's no tomorrow. We were trying to finish Jack Daniels from the face of the earth because you get bored and you find things to do. And then I got depressed. And what happened when you get depressed? What did the doctor give you? Meds. And then when you're depressed and you're hanging out with the wrong people, what do you do with those drugs, with those meds? How do you take them? Any of you have any idea? With Heineken. Yes. So then I started mixing drugs with alcohol. And I spent 10 years here going down the drain. And then you see the news. Veterinarians highest suicide rate. Veterinarian highest depression rate. But when we're here, we don't plan for that. We never think we're gonna be there. We never ever think we're gonna be there until you're there. And it's very insidious. It goes like, have you ever, did you guys have, you're in Alabama, right? You have creeping indigo grass in Cali in Alabama? It's like one of those grasses that keep growing, and all of a sudden you don't see it. And one morning you wake up and the whole freaking yard is covered with it. And that's exactly how it happens. You don't notice it, and then you start doing it on Sundays, and then you start doing it on Saturdays, and then you start doing it on Thursdays, and then you do Wednesday midweek relaxing day, and your bank account keeps plummeting. Your bank account keeps going down, and now you don't see your wife. Then all of a sudden, maybe you have a kid, or you have 2 kids, and all of a sudden you forget about them, or you leave them in school and don't go and pick them up. Or a cop stops you and you end up in jail because you drank too much and you decided to start running with your farrier friend. Not that it happened to me. In front of the police station. So, what I'm trying to tell you, if I haven't achieved the goal yet, is that plan from the beginning. Plan now. Plan what you want to do, but don't just plan for this. Don't just plan because you want to be a general practitioner, or reproduction, or an internal medicine person, or a sports medicine, or an ophthalmologist, or a neurologist, or you want to be in academia. Don't just plan for that. Okay. Also, please, for the God's sake, plan what you want to do in life with your own personal self. What hobbies you want to have? When do you want to have them? And for crying out loud, how much money you want to make? Do you want to retire making $150,000 to $200,000 a year, or do you actually want to retire making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million? Now this is when it becomes very important, because if you go with a mentor that is working themselves to death from a truck, by the way, did you know that 87% of equine veterinarians work out of a truck? 87% of equine veterinarians work out of a truck with how many employees? 0 to 1. 87% of equine veterinarians work out of the truck with 1 to 0 employees. And who is their employee? Yeah, who are they paying? Who is the other person? How many of you have been with the equine vet? Huh? It's a wife. It's a wife. It's a brother. In my case, it was a brother. But it's either a family member or a cousin. In my case, I had a cousin that did it. Or it's a wife, or it's a husband. Or have you heard of this before?
Oh yeah.
So equine veterinarians wear, but we don't have to do that. We can actually change the trajectory. This is why I love to talk to first, second, and third years, because you haven't spent enough time with the clinicians in your school who have not been able to get to here yet. Does that make sense? I want to get you early so that you get the itch. You get the itch for the money. You get the itch for having your personal, professional, and financial goals set. 97% of businesses in the United States fail within the first 10 years. 97% of businesses don't make it. 66% fail within the first 5 years. And guess what? If you have a truck, 1 employee, you don't have a business. You're a slave. If you have a truck and you have 1 employee, you don't have a business. You are a slave. You are a slave to your clients. You are a slave to yourself. You are an absolute slave. And there's no one here in the planet that can argue that against me. Like I go at it every time, every day with whoever wants to go at it. Because that's what an equine vet in the truck with one tech is. Sunday night, their clients have an emergency. Who do they call? Them. Is that a slave or not? That's slavery. Saturday night, the client's an emergency. Who do they call? Them. Where are you from?
Kentucky.
You're from Kentucky. I practice in Kentucky, October, November, December. No, September, October, November, I'm in Kentucky, and most of January. I know Kentucky market very well. It's worse than in Ocala, by the way. But it doesn't have to be like that. And we're working on changing that. Because you are from Kentucky, but let's say in August, your best friend is getting married, and you guys, not in August, I'm gonna put it worse. I'm gonna say March. Let's say March. In March, a beautiful spring, your best friend is getting married in the Keys. And the grandma of your best friend has paid for 2 weeks. And you have 2 weeks fully paid, and it's March in Kentucky. And you're a proud reproduction or general practitioner vet, and your best friend is getting married in March, and you have one tech and one truck, everything paid in the Keys, and you are gonna tell them what? You can't go. Why? Okay, now you work for me, and you have been mentored by me. What's your name? Dylan. And you are from?
Kentucky.
And you're from Kentucky. And your best friend is getting married in the Keys, and we have a business together, and it's in March. And you have been working with me, and you have organized all your personal, professional, and financial goals, and you have set up yourself in a position where you're not a slave, you're not live out of a truck and a tech. What are you gonna tell that friend? Let's go! Let's go! Yeah. You know what I tell them? I'll fly you there. That's my hobby. I get a plane, I put them there, and I fly them there. That's what I'm doing next Monday. So, does that make sense? You see the difference? But if you don't plan that, now, you're not gonna get it. Because right now, the first thing that you're planning, I know because I've been there, you're planning, how can I be the best? Where can I get my best internship? Where can I get my best residency? How can I become the best surgeon? How can I become the best internist? How can I become the best? None of you do sales rep. That just happens when you get burnout. After 5 years of doing all that, a sales company told you, you want a 9-to-5 job where you can travel all through the United States. You say, yes, sign me up. And you know how many equine surgeons I know that they're doing this? Tons. I cannot stop counting. So right now you're thinking about how to do all this and how to be the best version of yourself, which is great. But we are missing, how am I gonna be the best version of myself? How am I gonna be the best me when I get there? What kind of family am I gonna get when I get here? Am I gonna have kids? Am I not gonna have kids? What my bank account's gonna look like? My bank account is, am I okay with having $0 in the bank account? Am I okay living paycheck by paycheck? Is that fine? Am I okay with that? Can I sacrifice? Can I go drink, have fun, and do all this and have a $0 bank account? Is that what I wanna do? Then if that's right, then that's fine. But if it's not, then you plan here and here. Does that make sense? Have you ever thought about any of these things? Yeah? Have anybody ever told you how to actually accomplish it? No. So that's where you need to choose your mentors. Because if you have a mentor that has a little truck and a tech, and a stethoscope. A stethoscope. The ears, little stethoscope here. And you have it, this. If that's what your mentor has, do you think your mentor can show you how to get here? No. And that's what I was telling you at the beginning. That's called the lid, the law of the lid. So there is a lid. By the way, if you have trouble with my accent, tell me. You're not the first one. My sons don't even understand me half the time. So if you don't understand me, it's fine. So this is the lid. They call it the law of the lid. So let's say that your mentor has a lid at $500,000 and you're coming up. Where are you going to stop? Thank you. You're going to stop at $500,000. Your mentor has a lid at 1 million. Where are you going to stop? At 1 million. Your mentor has a lid at 1 employee. How many employees are you going to have? 1 employee. Your mentor has a lid at 1 veterinary practice. How many practices are you going to have? 1. Which is okay if that's what you want. I'm not telling you, I've done all of it. And I promise you, I have enjoyed every single one of them except being in jail. That's not fun. But everything else, I have enjoyed the whole process. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been awesome. But if I would have known how to go through this very, very fast, and I'm not even asking on how to not do it. I'm just asking how to do this very, very fast so I didn't have to spend 10 years here drinking. It was fun drinking, it's fun for about 12 hours a day, but after that it's not fun. Then I would have taken. I would have definitely taken. So that's what I want you to do, evaluate for your life, for your future, from now. Oh, how do I do that? Well, very simple. Sit down, write your personal, professional, financial goals. I even have a template. I have a template I can give you. Remind me emailing you that template so that you can email it to all of you guys. It's just simple, but there's a very specific way that you actually do your PPF, and you constantly bringing it up. Now, there could be a moment where you tell somebody that you want to be a millionaire as a vet, and what are they going to do to you? If you would have told, there's no way. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to be, you're crazy. You do it because you love it. You do it because you like the lifestyle of being an equine vet. Because it's a lifestyle, it's not a job. You heard that before? Yeah? It's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. I promise you it's a lifestyle. Yeah, but it's a good lifestyle, right? If you all of a sudden are in Abu Dhabi for 2 weeks, having fun and teaching a little bit, seeing horses, well, that's a lifestyle. Or if you're in Italy because you're going to a conference and you spend 5 days in a conference and 1 week, that's a lifestyle. We just thought that it was not good. So it's a mindset type of thing. Good, I've spoken for a lot. You guys have questions?
I guess my
Thank
question
you.
would be like, what is the most, how do you like go from writing that down on a piece of paper to making that something tangible?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Great question. Okay, good. There's a law. And who taught me this? Brandon Dawson. So my mentors are like, my mentors are ridiculous billionaires because I have 0 mentors in the equine business, by the way. 0. You know why? Well, there's some here, but they are not. No one's here. Yeah. So all my mentors are here, and there's not many in the equine industry here. So I had to go and find other mentors somewhere else. So what he told me was, the first one was Brandon Dawson. You can look it up. What you think is what you say. What you say is what you do. And what you do becomes your legacy, right? So this answers your question, because what you're thinking by the process of doing that, and this is what happened to me. I used to say, 100,000, that's a lot of money. Can you believe it? I used to say that. That's ridiculous. Then I used to say, then I went through the process, okay? 200,000? Wow, that's a lot of money. I don't know if I can do that. But then you go through the process of thinking about it, then writing it down, and then you go to the, but if you think about 100,000 and you actually write it, are you ever gonna pass that? No, because that's what you think. And thought is everything. Thought controls everything. So we have to do a lot of work, I know that, I still do, because we have to think differently. And by the process of writing down the goals and putting them in the physical universe, now you're thinking about it, you are saying it and doing something about it, and you're gonna start, the world is gonna start aligning to you because you're gonna start finding the resources to get you there. Follow me? I used to think $1 million was a lot of money until I did a $5 million transaction. I said, I guess $1 million is not that much, right? Some of us think that 100,000 is a lot of money until you spend $1 million. One day, I'll tell you a story. One day we were buying horses, and I move out. I move out of the table. We were at a sales auction, and I move out of the table, and I went and got a coffee. How long could that take? Get out of the table, go get a coffee, came back, and one of my mentors, in that amount of time, has spent $1.5 million in just that amount of time. And I tell you spent, but I should have not told you spent. I should have told you wasted completely. And then I was like, that's a different way to look at things. That's a different way to think about money. Anyway, and the only way that you do that is by changing the way you think about it. And then you do the same thing with your personal. Like I do it with my personal example, right? You don't have to do the same thing. But okay, I have kids, okay? So what do I want for my kids? What do I want to provide for my kids? How's my marriage doing? Where do I want my marriage to be? What kind of communication am I going to have with my wife? That kind of thing. And all that, we write it down. She does the same thing because we kind of have the same mentors. So, which is very important too, to have alignment with your family, right? If you're pulling one way and your spouse is pulling the other way, that's not compatible. If you want to be an internist and your spouse wants to do sports medicine, that does not go well. Because she's going to be out every night. She's going to be in colics. She's going to be doing emergencies. She's going to be doing diarrhea. She's going to be doing falls. And you're going to be 9 to 5, 8 to 5. And then it doesn't match. Does that make sense? My wife is a vet as well. Good. Does that answer your question? Great. I love that question. Very important.
Got a quick question. So is the whole point of this not to just like have everybody become an owner and make $1 billion, or is the point of it just to be like, you want to figure out what you want to do and you visualize that, and like you said, think about it, say it, do it, that's your legacy.
That's right. That's right. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire. It happens that I grew up milking cows. So when you grow up in that environment, money becomes a bit important. When your mom tells you you cannot buy granola because we don't have any money, we only have to buy the Frosted Flakes, that actually becomes, becomes important. I said, Mom, I'm buying all the steak I want now. I'm buying all granola. My house is full of granola. I promise you. And it's full of steak. My fridge is full of steak and full of granola. I grew up like that. I grew up in a different scenario than probably most of you. So for me, wealth is important. And I'm teaching my kids that wealth is important because I never want them to be in my position. Because in life, you're never gonna go flat. You can try. Try going down the road at 60 miles an hour for 3 hours. You're never gonna go up. You're either gonna go up or down. It's physics. Life is physics. You're never gonna go up. But if for you, which is perfectly okay, is to be at 150 the rest of your life per year, that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. Just make sure that matches your personal goals and that also matches your financial goals. You tracking? Because if you're going to be that you're 150 and then you're going to tell some of my employees that you don't have enough money to do the things you want, then you're being a hypocrite. If you're making $150,000 and you go tell somebody that you don't have enough money to do the things that you want to do, you're a hypocrite by telling me that you accomplished your personal, professional, and financial goals. Might talk to vet students because I don't want you to end up like I was. I have dedicated the last 5 years, 3 years, the last 3 or 4 years doing this, talking to you guys to make sure that you don't fall into the same trap. But if you want to do it, I'm the best at telling you how to go to jail. I can say you very well.
What are some common factors to failure for those that don't succeed past 5 or 10 years when they're owning a business?
I love it.